Introducing the most creative Terran player fighting for Cloud9 from Korea. In the red, it's GuMiho. And in the bottom left, the former world champion. Gotten Reaper's nerfed twice. Looking to do it again based on the games we've seen so far in this tournament. We have Micro Jackson. It's ByuN. Always entertaining, no matter what flavor of play we see out of him. I have no idea. These are the most different players at this level of StarCraft 2. It is a mirror matchup, but I think ByuN and Serral have more in common than ByuN and GuMiho somehow. I don't know if Serral's the best. Maybe more like Raynor. With that kind of micro-oriented style. But GuMiho favors the creative builds, the strategic timings. ByuN doesn't really care what his build is as long as he gets to micro his way out of most situations. Alright, I'm pretty convinced sometimes ByuN just has a unit he wants to build, which is almost always Reapers or Marines. And then he builds it until it either works or it doesn't. You might make some exceptions and be like, okay, maybe I need a Raven. Maybe a siege tank or two, but that's how ByuN do. We're on Radicid Station, which I don't think I've ever seen TVT on this map. I don't go out of my way to see TVT very. I'll admit it. I'll admit it. The chess boxing that is TVT rarely makes its way here. Will anyone scout? The first Reaper will look around for proxy ranks. There is no real opportunity to sneak in with Reapers. There is no Reaper jump location. The only place you can get in is right there. At the natural. So you can essentially wall off 3 bases with just that single ramp. Assuming you cover the air, which is assuming a lot, by the way. Command center. On the low ground. GuMiho's command center, way quick. He's playing a little greedier. ByuN, I would not be the least bit surprised to see an early medevac. Something to micro with. Going to be a Cyclone from GuMiho. The staple of the early game nowadays. As the Cyclone can counter. It used to be Reaper Hellion. That build's kind of been relegated to Terran versus Protons. Reaper Hellion is still maybe a little bit of the early game, but mostly getting that Cyclone out will shut it down. Can easily kill a couple Reapers and a Hellion on its own, as well as provide anti-air. Very important, especially considering how Ravens are a staple as well. ByuN building them. This is your split here. ByuN builds a medevac. GuMiho builds a Widowmine and a Banshee. So the Widowmine just a cheaper choice than really anything else, and still has a lot of potential. Though rarely spotted in this matchup. And if so, really, just for this scenario. The Reaper Hellion on the way across. Are you going to do a siege tank drop? Oh my god. Yeah. Oh my god, Hyper Shees. GuMiho watched that Hero Marine series and he said, you know what? This seems like fun. Now, I don't know if we'll get there. The Cyclones are already in place. The Banshee, there's no anti-air besides the Marines. So GuMiho is going mech. Whereas ByuN has been boxed out almost entirely. Oh yeah, this is essentially what Hero Marine was doing against Solar in TVZ. It's Hyper Shees and Cyclones. Alright, the Cyclones really want to lock onto that medevac. Only gets one of them. Not quite enough. Meanwhile, GuMiho has inspired ByuN to build some Cyclones of his own. Begun the Clone Wars have. Well, GuMiho Back when, if you remember, like 7 patches ago when we changed the Cyclone again, you're like, Winter, that happens every patch. I know. The Cyclone gets more attention than the entire Protoss race. That's how it is. Anyways, GuMiho also a big proponent of the reactor clone plays, back when it had like the machine gun pods. It's now kind of a middle ground between that. But the Hyper... I can't believe he's going Hyper Shees in TVT. The Widow Mine! Oh, wait, he saw it, and he drags it out, deals with it. But there is no cloak for the Banshee, but there's only 4 Marines. Can't believe he has a speed Banshee. Oh, but the Cyclones! This is... The Cyclones lock on. ByuN just walks up. There's some damage. 11 SCVs dead. The Hyper Shees are chasing the clones. Clones on both sides, doing terrible, terrible damage to everyone involved. Clone on clone action. Okay. 37 to 35 workers in favor of GuMiho. ByuN doesn't have a 3rd CC done yet, though he is building it outside on location. 3 factories coming up for GuMiho. ByuN has not added production yet. You know what? I'm awarding the lead to GuMiho. He has his infrastructure, he has the economy, and he already has most of his tech online. Whereas ByuN now just sending out multiple Ravens. And now, he could kill a dozen SCVs with it. But this also risks the Ravens. With that many Cyclones on the field, he's getting Hurricane Thrusters. The Cyclone speed upgrade. I've seen some people complain that Cyclones have treads, okay? They don't have thrusters. Well, just strap a rocket to the back. It'll probably go faster. I'm starting to think this game isn't very realistic. Well, the main base, completely vulnerable. Gonna drop down the auto turrets. Cloaked Banshee gonna be dealt with as well. Adds on double armory, but the auto turrets will delay that a little bit. Just slaps down the turrets on the way by. 3 SCVs down, but wait, there's more opportunity here. Sees the 3rd base at the pocket. Mass Cyclone for both sides. I can't believe we're doing this again. And by again, I do mean from like 4 years ago. Auto turrets starting to grind back some of that lead, but ByuN, your command center is right there. Well, so, oh my god. Yeah, totally. 100%. Yeah. There you go. ByuN wins the fight, but the war still very much in doubt. 11 SCVs down, leaving GuMiho with a significant lead. And again, we got to go back to the product. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh no. The upgrades are about the same time. The a scan, GuMiho spots that indeed ByuN is doing effectively the same thing. But GuMiho does have a 4th command center. Does ByuN have a 4th CC? He does not. The upgrades are about even here. Those upgrades are a huge deal, as the Cyclone, when it locks on, it's technically just doing an auto attack while moving. And since it attacks very quickly, both armor and weapons are very relevant in this battle. I don't know exactly how much of an increase it is, as it gets a bonus to mechanical as well, because of course. But Cyclones are indeed mechanical units, so nothing is quite as good at killing Cyclones as Cyclones themselves, which is what both players are relying on for their unit compositions. 2 siege tanks, though, definitely tilts the scales. Is there interference matrix? No. The Ravens, he's going to lose one of the Ravens on the way by. A single, remember Hyperflight Banshees? GuMiho did. It's been a while since we've seen a Banshee here, not because it's been cloaked. Viking coming in, dealing with the Raven. Looks like ByuN or GuMiho had a 1 second upgrade advantage. Not going to be able to use it. Okay, just mining from the mineral wall here. But the Banshee gets a few kills. The cloak. Very awkward fight there. So, I have no idea. I've never seen this particular late game exchange. I've seen this in the early game, maybe 10, 15 Cyclones, but I have no idea. I would assume GuMiho knows. I'm not confident ByuN has gone down this road. ByuN still playing that kind of freestyle composition. GuMiho clearly has a trajectory to his army. He's adding in the siege tanks and now the ravens in the later game. These depots here to funnel cyclones make it that much harder. GuMiho up 20 supply now. A few more SCVs go down to another Hyper She. And, oh, he's gonna catch some of the clones out on the, well, who's catching who? Anti-armor missile is devastating for the same reasons as those upgrades are important. That's too many tanks. You can't fight into those tanks. The Venn dia scans here cover each other. No one gonna move without knowing exactly where their opponents are, but the double Liberator gonna make things difficult. Banshees, well, Banshee chases down the Cyclones. There's no scan. Liberators. The SCV's forced away, but the Viking should be able to take them out. The Liberator's just gonna hold it down for now. ByuN out on the map with Mass Cyclone. He's building some siege tanks of his own, but the siege tanks of GuMiho are very slowly, yet very surely, making their way forward. 25 Cyclones to 10, but 9 siege tanks now to 6. A planetary fortress, though I'm not sure that'll save him from this amount of Cyclones. Siege tanks, clearly a superior unit when entrenched against those clones, but we're finishing +2/+2. Who? Yes. Infernal Pre-Igniter. Okay. GuMiho adds on Blue Flame, Hellbats, and Hellions. ByuN is off to the right flank here with most of his armor. Gotta be careful with that Raven. The turrets will just kill it. Okay, that's not ideal. He's gonna lock on. It looks like he's gonna get the planetary, but the Cyclones will be cornered here. Anti-armor missile. And the Cyclones are taken out. Does ByuN have enough at home to justify trading out the entirety of his Cyclone army? That's a lot of mech. Looks like he wants advanced ballistics liberators. Interference matrix is done. How many ravens? He's got 7 ravens. He could scramble most of the tank line or work his way forward. Either way, there's still enough Cyclones in order to take down Liberators as well. ByuN trying to rotate into position, but it feels like GuMiho has built the right army, and now he's just waiting for the fight with which to use it. He's got the siege tanks. Can't fit them all on the screen here as their battle lines are drawn across the entire map, but wow, those rocks just imploded. Could use some mules to open it up. ByuN goes around to the north side. Oh, a couple siege tanks already knock it into the Cyclones here. Liberators will siege up. GuMiho pulls back. The tank lines are drawn. 3-3 on the way for GuMiho. He scrambles one tank. The rest are unsieged. Anti-armor missile on the Cyclones. The Liberator sieging up, but easily dealt with. Interference matrix locks them down. And now more siege tanks on the high ground, but GuMiho still has energy. He's still working. Scrambles 2 more. And the mech army is working its way forward. ByuN sieging up to the north. But more tanks. He just keeps dealing with it. And GuMiho marching through. Clearly with a better command of the mech. Another triple scramble. Interference matrices locking down the army, and now GuMiho is on top of the production. ByuN just not confident with this army composition, and GuMiho is putting on a clinic of how to maneuver this Raven Cyclone army. GuMiho with a decisive victory in game number 1. Wow, ByuN looked like he was doing a poor impression of what GuMiho was doing on the other side of the map. Yes, it's a very different map. Yes, it is a very different build than you're used to seeing. But GuMiho getting a game to start is a big win for him. I think ByuN is favored overall in this series, but GuMiho definitely with a better command of the mechanical army. And so interesting to watch. Using those hyper shees even after they're shut down. Wow. And now we're going to Equilibrium? What? I think this may be the first time we've seen this map. I don't think I've cast this map the entire tournament. Nobody has picked it. And now we're seeing the 2 most dramatic maps as the first 2 games. All right, well, here we go. Now, Equilibrium. There is no map more well suited to that 3cc play. Waiting for GuMiho to ready up. Well. I wasn't sure if ByuN had just a different take on that Cyclone style. But no, it feels like GuMiho was leading and ByuN was just following, trying to catch him off guard. But that's not the kind of army it really works for. It's not Marines. It's not medevacs. Like, it's a pretty known quantity. Siege tanks and Cyclones. There we go. All right, GuMiho's ready. ByuN's ready. Hopefully you're ready. I think I'm ready. Game 2. In the top left, we have from Korea in the blue, Team Shopify. It's ByuN. And at the top right, for Cloud9, the Mech Terran GuMiho. It's so impressive to see. Like I said, ByuN just freestyles it and GuMiho plans ahead. Sorry. Well, ByuN has decided it's Reaper time. No, ByuN, no! I'll get it nerfed again. It's alright if you do it to Terrans. Moving on. 2 Rex. I mean, there's not much more to say. He's going to build Reapers. He's going to micro them better than anyone else in the world. And will GuMiho have the answer in time? That is the only question here. GuMiho looks like he went gas before Rex. Or ByuN just cut SCVs to get these. I think he did. But either way, a Reaper is already building by the time GuMiho finishes his Rex. He didn't scout. This could be a very quick game to make up for that game. Oh, God. Oh, he might just be dead. Oh, no. I'm not a mathematician, but last I checked, 2 Reapers is indeed superior to just 1. He's waiting for the second one. He hasn't been scouted. No SCV's come across the map. No SCV has seen the barracks here. Oh no, the Reaper. It comes down. ByuN catches it. Now it's known. Second Reaper is out. This will give GuMiho time to pull SCVs, which is the only option here. Thankfully, he did not build a reactor. Yeah, the Marines. Really the only choice. But it's gonna get worse before it gets better. The Reaper's headed up to the high ground. Not killing too much yet, but on top of it. Kills the Reaper. Loses one. There's a Hellion on the way. Unfortunately, not a Cyclone for GuMiho, but the Hellion builds faster. It's cheaper. Gets it out. Now a Cyclone. So far, not devastating damage. GuMiho's handling this quite well so far. ByuN doesn't really have a follow-up. He's got the commands that are on the way, but he's still just building Reapers. If that Cyclone comes out, and it will come out, does GuMiho try to save his base? No, doesn't bother. A barracks will be lifted to see. I'm surprised he doesn't send it in towards the main, but the Hellion, great reaction time. GuMiho trying to bait him in. Now this barracks will scout the Cyclone. Oh, the high ground vision. Something GuMiho didn't factor in. Hellion lives for now. He's still just gonna fight. Pops the grenade. Second Cyclone, but gunned down immediately. Chase. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. That did not go well. Huh. Oh, that was a disaster. He lost all 6 Reapers. He killed the Cyclone. He delayed the command center. But he lost way too many Reapers. Thank you. That second Cyclone popped out at the perfect timing. And now here we are. The Clone Wars yet again. ByuN, he has a bunch of Cyclones at home. He may have been able to contain GuMiho for long enough. The medevac, it's a fake. It's a scouting medevac. He has nothing else. There's nothing inside. Of course, ByuN can't know that. Does GuMiho know that? He spots the Cyclones. ByuN sits back, ready to deal with it, but there's nothing to deal with here. Just scouting with it. Why not? It does have that afterburner. A Liberator on the way. Still hanging out, waiting for an opportunity. GuMiho? It does feel like GuMiho is just more comfortable. ByuN keeps trying to find damage, and GuMiho just calmly deflecting. Now this is awkward. Hey, wait a second. Not sure what the Banshee's doing back here. I think I select the army key. Oh, Cyclone takes a hit. Cannot afford a second. Still gonna lose some of these. Kills. Oh my god. Meanwhile, the Cyclone's at the natural. What is the clone count? 8-7 in favor of ByuN, but the medevac kind of, yeah, tilts things. The medevac, a very helpful tool, and actually GuMiho. Oh my god, he's dodging the hits. Yeah, you might be good at Reapers, but GuMiho, the attack of the clones. How does 6 Cyclones dead to 3, and one of them died to Reapers. So 6-2 was the count here. The Banshees are still dangerous as well. He does have Cloak, so even though there are Ravens on the field, he needs them nearby to help deal with it. And the Banshees can fight the clones. Well, they can't fight the clones with the Ravens right there. Like, if they both have clones, it gets a little complicated. Yeah, GuMiho getting a bit too ambitious here. As he tries to micro in and out of medevacs with Banshees while there are Ravens and more Cyclones. That's not gonna happen. ByuN has 3 CC. Oh, is this how we play TVT now? Is this what's happening? Hyper She's on the way yet again for GuMiho. He's building on location, but ByuN does have more workers. He does have those factories up. He has that advantage he didn't have in the previous game, which is the infrastructure and the level of production to just bring to bear. Still, though, GuMiho, clearly more confident in the Cyclone micro. That's such a weird thing to say, but some very impressive clone micro so far. The Banshee, Cloaks, doing its best observer cosplay here. Working on some of the SCVs. Picks maybe the only ones he can't kill. Hyper She's completed. He does have 2 Banshees. They can chase down Cyclones, I guess. I'm not sure what the difference is after Hurricane Thrusters. But ByuN is now mining from his 3rd. Five clones at a time for both sides. The difference is 3 Cloaks, but it's a little late. The difference was the Banshees, but ByuN narrowing that down. More Banshee. I think he's just trying to keep him busy. Yeah, the Cyclones again. The double scan. That's something. Cyclones. Oh yeah, there are rocks here. Scans on both sides. GuMiho just slapping down the gold base on location. Oh, I thought it was a battlecruiser. No, it's a barracks. Slightly slower than a battlecruiser. Another Banshee. Just kind of almost like a creep wave sent across. Oh no. 2 clones passing in the night. This is gonna get super weird. Here we go. On the other side, ByuN is coming back. He wants to crush this. But, well, now he's decided to go the other way. GuMiho knows exactly what he's dealing with. Does he have anything in the main? He's building 2 commands, so he's got a siege tank. He has a siege tank. Cyclones into the main. And GuMiho is chasing the SCVs down. Is there interference matrix? There is. He snipes off a Raven. If he gets both, that siege tank is invaluable. ByuN doesn't know about the 3rd. Oh my god. He might give it away with that Marine. Where did that Marine come from? I think he would have checked anyways. GuMiho is forced to lift the command center. Does he lock on? He goes for it. The SCVs will try to repair. They will successfully do so. Auto turrets in the front. Begun the Clone Wars have. The SCVs are pulled. They get slaughtered as well. GuMiho losing so much here. 33 SCVs down. Trying to chase down the Cyclones. But I think the numbers are just not looking particularly great for him. He tried to go for the base trade, but ByuN was able to do more damage. Again, though, GuMiho has siege tanks. That is a massive, massive deal. Oh, that's too many Oh, GuMiho. ByuN tries to split, juggling some clones. Down goes the medevac. The tank. Oh, ByuN has too much. That was one of the weirdest fights I've ever seen. But at the end of the day, the Cyclones are able to split, and ByuN takes it back. It's 1-1, but what a mess it was. 30 clones to 34 off the Proxy Reaper. I have no idea what we're doing anymore in TVT. I barely had an idea before, but it's gone. It's out of here. ByuN able to maintain map control until it delivers him a victory, but it still feels like GuMiho is much better suited to this Clone War meta. But ByuN is still able to get so much done with so little. I don't know. We're going into Alcyone. Cyclone by another name. I can't not see Cyclone when we open up this map. It's always been like that. We'll see. All tied up. My brain breaking a little bit more with each game. We got 2 minutes until this game starts. Yeah. GuMiho says yes. And I believe this is our last series before the playoffs. All right. A quick break to collect ourselves, to contemplate our existence, and then ignore it by watching some great StarCraft. We'll see you on the other side. 2-minute break, and then Game 3, GuMiho versus ByuN. Welcome back to the ESL SC2 Masters, Winter 2023, with me, Winter, here, watching the last set of games to determine our top 8 in the playoffs. It's 1-1. The game is loaded in. We're on Hecky. Let me introduce. In the top right, the mechanically oriented Terran. Oh, don't do it, ByuN. Don't spoil my intro like this. It's GuMiho. And with absolutely no shame, it's ByuN. Another proxy 2 Rex. Here we go. We took a 2-minute break so that way ByuN could decide to proxy 2 Rex again. How exciting. Of course he is. It's ByuN. It worked out. He has 100% win rate in this series when starting with a proxy Rex. So the numbers don't lie. And they potentially spell disaster for GuMiho. Last time, GuMiho handled it fine. I feel like ByuN didn't really press the issue as much as he could have. Cyclones ended up coming out at perfect timings in order to defend. And in fact, catching ByuN a little bit off guard, losing most of his Reapers. But the damage was already dealt. He had to delay his command center. And that delayed the rest of the economy and the timings to the point where GuMiho really never had any options. He had to play catch-up the entire time. Well, SCV, he's gonna scout around his natural. This is the extent of his due diligence here. He's like, I'm gonna scout around the natural. Okay. Well, here come the Reapers. Will GuMiho be as confident defending him this time around? He's holding on. He hasn't been scouted. GuMiho did not scout this game or the last. Maybe this is inspiration to do so. Oh no, get out of there. He's losing. Oh my god, ByuN runs up on him. Second Reaper comes out. Oh no. Oh no, there's nowhere to run. He's done. Oh no, that might... The Marine comes out barely. But 2 Reapers already. Losing that first Reaper is potentially the game. But he loses a Reaper in turn. But there's nothing building out of... I just started the Hellion. It's scaling. The command center. Oh my god, if the command center could finish! At least it won't be killed, but... Now... Well, 3 Reapers. He's already softened up a bunch of the SCVs. Hellion comes out. Doesn't quite get that last hit. Things are going from bad to worse. ByuN is pinpointing it here. He may lose 1 Reaper. He kills another SCV. He just wants to cut the ribbon on that command center. Oh no. Another Hellion will pop out just barely in time. More Reapers coming in. Gets the Hellion. Bouncing the SCVs around. Looking for another Hellion kill here. And may very well find it. Kills another Reaper. If he could repair the Hellion, that would be incredible. But he doesn't get the shot. The Reaper's still going to work. Oh my god. Well, the Marine comes out. The depot raises. Still no command center done. Starport about to finish. GuMiho isn't dead. But ByuN, you can't lose anything. He finishes the command center. The best he could hope for here. 10 SCVs dead. Oh, ByuN. He just started the second base. So, GuMiho has a dream yet again, especially considering the starport is done. Cyclone on the way. But the Reapers are still waiting. ByuN. 3rd command center, okay. Well, he's kind of stopped producing units in general. Banshee, headed out. He wants to just deal with the Reapers directly. You know, I think he did enough damage. I think it's probably too much. But we'll see. The game will go on. The Banshee hunting the Reapers. We'll get one. But he does, of course, show his hand. And here we go again. Reactored Cyclones will be the ticket. The fact that ByuN realizes he can go 3cc behind this. Barracks will land. The one from across the map, of course. And now, what does GuMiho have? Oh, what? Reapers come up. Cyclone doesn't lock? Interesting. Oh, you have to actually stop moving for the lock-on to work, unless you manually do it. Just kind of an awkward quirk of it. Where is... Banshee just waiting for the Reapers to come back in. It's just a few too many SCVs killed. They add up. And ByuN has 3cc. He's gonna try... Now, for the first time in this series, we see Stimpack being researched. Did he notice the Liberator there? The Cyclones... Yeah, he did. Cyclones being rallied. We actually have a Marine tank build out of ByuN. He's that confident he's ahead that he could go Marine tank. Which... There's no real opportunity for GuMiho to punish him for it. GuMiho has less Cyclones. He has a couple Ravens, but... I think GuMiho's just going to try to drag it out. Maybe drag the game as far as possible. The SCVs actually unsieges the Liberator. We'll save it. Double engineering bay for ByuN. And now we see how the Cyclones stack up against the Marine tank. I think poorly, considering the level of production. And the Liberator coming in. Oh, didn't quite siege up, which means it's still able to escape the lock-on. Sieges up in the corner just to make sure it doesn't get stuck in a bad spot. Another factory on the way. Does GuMiho know? No, he hasn't even seen the main. This is the first time he's seen the base in the game. He sees the engineering bay upgrading, which tells a story. But what can he do about it? I think GuMiho's best chance is if this game goes a lot longer. Because ByuN will have all the mobility. Just getting factories is expensive, 100 apiece in the gas, and of course 150 minerals. So the overhead cost of the mech army and then the mech production is usually the limiting factor. A scan. He spots, indeed, the barracks. Gonna try something. How many tanks? 0 tanks. That's not very many tanks. So, some opportunity here. Liberator siege is up. GuMiho reacts, but he reacts too well. Didn't... He's gotta go and he's gotta take... No, watch out, watch out! Oh, no. Oh, no. Things like this add up so quick. Anti-armor missile gonna try to fight auto turrets, but ByuN still has plenty of Cyclones. The Marauders are being healed through a lot of it. GuMiho will take something resembling a winning fight, but it will cost him most of his units, and he did it seconds before the 1-1 upgrade's completed. This Liberator is... It's not a thorn, that's a spike in his side. Finally, another Cyclone comes up to deal with it. Scan. Yeah, his army's there. ByuN at 68 to 60 SCVs. The Banshee looking for an opportunity. Does he have the cloak? No, he's got nothing. Couldn't afford anything. The supplies are still dangerously close here. ByuN unable to pry it open, but he has 4 medevacs now. He's got the 1-1 done. Siege tank on the high ground going to be targeted first. Here come the Ravens. Auto turret's definitely an opportunity. Interference matrix is done. But what does he have left to deal with this? Liberators will siege. ByuN just runs around. Banshee taken out on the way back home. And now the Stim Marines and Marauders just come around the side. The Liberators looking the wrong way. And ByuN takes it 2-1. Bringing us to match point. The proxy racks dealing critical damage in GuMiho. Struggling to recover past that. It's just so much. You can't just proxy racks. Well, apparently he can. When ByuN does it, it's not illegal. Also, GuMiho did not SCV scout at all in 2 games in a row. Does he SCV scout? The thing is, does it help? Because sometimes you'll SCV scout, you scout it, but there's so much flexibility. And when you can rely on your micro to the extent that ByuN does, if you build bunkers, he's just going to go around, he's going to take 2 bases behind. If you don't, then the Reapers are going to get in. Just these little tiny advantages. Okay, not so tiny, but these little advantages adding up so quickly. And this is why GuMiho clearly has a great grasp of the strategic Terran. But everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. And that is ByuN's strategy right now. Is come in punching and never stop. Because otherwise GuMiho may actually get a mech army and beat him like he did in Game 1. Moving into Game 4! Potentially our final match of the series on Hecky. Best of 5. ByuN in the bottom left up 2-1. No. No. Okay. All right. Sorry. I didn't. It's fine. We're staring at the minute. Yeah, GuMiho's on the other side, but... Okay. All the SCVs are in his main base for now. This, so far, ByuN has only won games that started with a proxy racks. So, just saying. Not quite the sample size that we can call a statistical certainty, but double gas, just 1 gas for GuMiho. Undeterred. Not gonna scout. Not gonna get double gas. He is going to 1 Rex expand. And that's what he's gonna do. A ByuN like hubris here. He's got his build and he's sticking to it. Reapers for both sides, of course. Taking a look around. This map is very similar in the initial layout to Alcyone. I sometimes get it mixed up. Some intense deja vu, but no barracks out there denotes the difference. Factories on the way. GuMiho's a little later. As 1 gas, of course, limits your opportunity. ByuN taking a look around. Now, what if GuMiho played the Uno reverse card with the proxies? ByuN, a bit of projection here, looking for those barracks. Reaper just waiting for GuMiho. If he gets away with it, obviously having 2 bases is better than 1. You're going to have more SCVs, and that translates into more production more quickly. ByuN, though, the starport is really the first concern here. I wouldn't be... If ByuN figures this out, and he will, with these 2 Reapers, he's going to figure it out. This is likely going to be a medevac situation. Get the medevac, get across the map, try to micro your way into an advantage. The command center finishes at the last second before the Reapers come. A Marine. ByuN losing 1, taking a lot of damage. He can't continue his efforts, and the Cyclone pops out. He locks on to the Reaper and knocks him out of the game. Okay, GuMiho gets his command center done. Doesn't lose anything significant to the Reapers. A good start. And there's that medevac either way. Though losing the Reapers definitely blunts the potential of the medevac clones. Here we go. It's going to be Banshee versus medevac. No reactor yet. GuMiho gonna sit down over onto it and start pumping out the clones himself. Here we go. Now, it's 2 Cyclones to 2 Cyclones. The medevac does afford a lot of that micro ability, but it's also a liability in that it doesn't shoot at the Cyclones, unlike a Banshee that's about to come out for GuMiho. The clone drop on its way in, but the clone's in response. And nothing. He's just gonna back off. Risky business. Wait, oh my god. ByuN, what are you... ByuN refuses to back... He loses a clone. I think that was a mistake. He's gonna kill a few more SCVs, but if he loses the medevac and the clone here, clearly... the drive-by, finding 4 more SCVs. Gets out with the medevac as well. The Banshee just kind of casually strolling across. There are already 4 clones at home, so I'm not particularly optimistic as to the damage this Banshee is going to be able to deal. Repairs the SCV. If those Cyclones lock on, they don't. He gets out. The medevac's still chilling in the center of the map. He doubles back. Banshee survives for now, and he's keeping the Cyclones anchored at home. That is the main advantage of this now, as the Banshee not going to do much while they're there. 3rd command center is on the way. GuMiho leading in that. The Banshee, he's just giving it away. It's clearly not going to survive. 2 more SCVs down. 3rd command center on location. Scan. All right. He sees the timing. He sees, most notably, no additional production. Oh god, here we go. Auto turrets. Raven locked on, not quite killed. I think GuMiho got the better of that exchange. ByuN picks up. And he heads towards the natural. I don't think GuMiho expected this commitment. Because why would you split your forces in such a tenuous position? When you're struggling to have enough Cyclones to deal with it. He picks up 8 more SCVs down, but here comes GuMiho. Are there auto turrets for either side? They're slapped down. The lock-ons are good. But ByuN, well, he loses finally the medevac with the Cyclones. A scan, he spots the base itself. There's not much energy left. I think maybe 1 auto turret on both sides. He's not going to be able to delay the 3rd command center. And GuMiho definitely taking the worst end of that exchange. He loses... What now? GuMiho's going... Wait, we saw the 2 barracks over here, but... GuMiho has lost now 13 SCVs. He's killed 6 clones to 3. But the worker count, definitely in ByuN's favor. There's still so many clones on the field. Apparently this is what we're doing. This is the new Vikings. Before, Mass Viking was the play. Does he just lock onto this? He's not bothering with it. There should be enough energy for anti-armor missile, potentially. He Dorito dusts it. Is that going to be enough? Knocks the Ravens out of the sky. Of course, both sides obliterated. 5 SCVs died. Apparently there were SCVs in that fight right there. Correct? Yeah. 5 SCVs with it. A surprising win. I don't even know if GuMiho noticed. But manages to wipe the Ravens out of the sky, which I think is a win for GuMiho. Just resetting that count. Especially since he's up against ByuN playing mech, and now he's playing Bio. What an exchange. 5 clones at a time for ByuN. On the bridge here, the Cyclones struggling to maneuver. They don't have speed yet. Oh my god, the Ursadak. No. A scan. Headed in toward it. He's gonna commit. They're Marines. They don't have stim. If he could get stim. The Chew Toy Depot working out. The tank. The tank. Oh, he's just going in. Well, the boys are pulled. The tank, the Unsiege tank has a lot of DPS. 14 SCVs dead. A Liberator at the 3rd, though. GuMiho loses a lot of SCVs, but cleans up the army yet again. Wait, there's Liberators on the other side. 1 knockdown, 8 SCVs so far. God, it just keeps stabbing each other in the eyes. It is relentless. Another scan towards the main. The Liberator coming in. A Marine. A few more Marines. Actually, should be able to take it out. The clone, still the main brunt of the army. Spots the tank sieging. ByuN actually took a 4th base on location. Feeling confident. A scan. That siege tank gets a hit. Big hit there. And 1-1 about to complete. The Marines don't have any medevacs. But the Marines themselves could help out. A tank trying to move up, but the Cyclones are closing in. Unsiege tank helping out. Marines getting a few hits in. These incredibly fragile clones. Everything is so deadly to each other. Is there a scan? There is, but he's gonna clean it up. GuMiho should be losing this tank. No upgrade. Oh, wait. GuMiho has 1-1. He just doesn't have any Marines to use it. Liberator found a few more SCV kills. There's still a Cyclone over here. The last survivor. Awkwardly so. Scans across the board, chasing the army. ByuN has overall the SCVs, and I think he has the right army. And again, an undefended base. The army's chasing over to the left flank. He doesn't even have combat shield. The Cyclone's driving in. Gonna slaughter even more SCVs. The last Cyclone is taken out. What does ByuN have at home? He only has Cyclones! So, Marine tank. Maybe unsiege Marines. The tanks need to target the clones. The clones, of course, working on the tanks, but there's no defense back at home. They're obliterating one another. Total annihilation. As, without any... he doesn't have any tanks. Only Cyclones are not enough to deal with the Marines. Maybe because they don't have combat shield. 25 SCVs down. It's a slaughterhouse. The SCV losses, 51 to 44. And it's not over yet. GuMiho may have just tilted the scales, though. Still no combat shield. The Cyclones, looking for an opportunity, stims the Marines. Trying to close the tank in. Are the Marines enough? The tank is everything here. He has to pull back. Tank on the command center. Targeting the orbital. Will be repaired. More Marines. Tank intercepted. Cyclones taken out. More Cyclones on the high ground working their way down. Targets the medevacs, but that means the Marines get a free fire zone. The siege tank on the back line. GuMiho losing SCVs back at home, but he finally gets a Marine onto the Liberator. On top of the tank. Siege tank finishes off the Cyclone. And it looks like GuMiho will stabilize, and he has a 30 supply lead after another... I don't even know what to call it. Devastating exchange. 17 Cyclones dead. 17 SCVs killed. 2 Liberators. Plenty of Marines and tanks as well. But ByuN doesn't quite find the clone count to break the siege tanks. He never got any upgrades for the Cyclones. Another orbital is gunned down. Ah, my. More SCVs dying. Will it ever end? But ByuN... Oh my god, more Cyclones. Those blue mineral workers always suffer the worst of it. But he has no answer for the siege tanks. Oh my god. ByuN gonna try to close the distance on top of the tank. GuMiho finds another orbital to target. There's nothing to defend it. He's right-clicked on it. He needs to kill the SCVs. The Cyclones are not dying. Finally, the Marines come up to deal with it. Cyclones on the high ground here. More Marines on the flank. I'm not sure who's flanking who. Siege tanks on the high ground. ByuN holding for now. Another few dozen SCVs slaughtered. Oh my god. 80 versus 76. Oh, but the siege tank. He picks it up. He saves it. So important here. +2 infantry weapons. Combat shield may finally finish. And with it, those Marines significantly more effective. It's taken so long. We're 13 minutes in. He's been using Marines for like 10 minutes. A little bit less, but combat shield finally done. Another hit at least. GuMiho not out of the woods yet, apparently, as the Cyclone's still finding an opportunity. Oh my god. Well, GuMiho refuses, or ByuN refuses to die. GuMiho is unable to reliably defend his bases. The 2-1 is done here. The Cyclones are winning this fight, though. Very awkwardly. He gets the tank! He's microing against the... He found it. He found the Mech Marine. And he's microing it. The Cyclone should win that. GuMiho is winning. Like, Source, just trust me, bro. The Cyclones find the army. Not sure who's finding who, but the tank on the high ground. Very, very important here. More Cyclones on the way back, but with the medevacs, with the Marines. Gets a lock on that one tank. On which side? Good question. Finds another army. GuMiho's bringing everything together. There's no counterattack. There's nothing to kill the SCVs. I mean, on GuMiho's side. Obviously, SCVs are struggling here for ByuN. 62 to 48. Will GuMiho finally be able to lay it down? The Liberator taken out by the Marines. The tank. Enough to obliterate the clones, but not again! No! The mineral line! Oh! Not again! A Marauder! A new invention! New technology into the natural! Siege tanks! Another 13 SCVs, nearly 100 on each side! Oh my god! The Viking is taken down, but at what cost? He might be able to drop on top of the tanks. GuMiho! Just finish him! Oh my god. The tank is taken out. Another attack over on the left. He's dropping mules. Oh, pre-stims. The Cyclones. ByuN refuses to die, but GuMiho doesn't give him a choice. After 15 minutes and running around the entire map for most of it, after 97 to 94, 83 Cyclones dead. We're going to game 5. All tied up. 1-1. Oh my god. Why won't you die? I'm sure GuMiho, he knew he had the advantage, but at the same time, he couldn't capitalize on it because ByuN just wouldn't stand still. God. Of course. This will be... This will be my last game casting for this ESL Masters. But what a series to cap things off. An education, an experience, an epiphany, a trial. We're going to game 5. Momentarily. We're making sure we're setting up. GuMiho versus ByuN. And here we go. The countdown begins. We're going in the distance. Place your bets. When we load in, momentarily, how many SCVs will be headed across the map? 0% win rate without proxy racks for ByuN. All right. Well, we loaded in too early. We wouldn't be sending him out yet, but in the top left, getting outmaneuvered and drawn to this epic conclusion, we have Team Shopify's ByuN. And with 2 SCVs headed across the map, he's got ByuN's medicine, and he wants him to taste it. GuMiho. with the staggered proxy Rex against the man himself. Well, I am not surprised. I am not disappointed. I just am. ByuN, no scout, but he does have 2 gas. A very, very important part of this. Having that factory in a timely manner makes all the difference. The margins are still very thin, but it's a lot easier. The SCV scout comes up. Did it come up from a weird angle? I don't think so. Looks like GuMiho might use the SCVs to kind of body block for the Reapers. No, sending him home. GuMiho, the poet, the admiral, the Terran. Reaper on Reaper action will begin. ByuN scouts it. I would love to see ByuN's face right now. Oh my. We'll see if he can delay that factory. The second Reaper. There's a small, infinitesimal mark. Oh, he gets the factory done. Huge moves. The Reaper fighting. A second Reaper about to pop out of the Rex. Another huge deal. He gets some damage done on the SCV. Oh, the grenade lands on both. Softening him up. Another Reaper comes in, but ByuN! You put him in his element? And a Hellion is about to come out. Just in time. He escapes. I don't know if that was enough. It's not over yet. Certainly, we're not done, but the depot built in the right spot to deal with this. He wants to delay the command center. The SCV slides over. I don't even think he microed it. Just a very convenient timing. Behind it, GuMiho has his factory done. Slaps on a reactor. Clones it is. And gets a command center behind. But ByuN, there's no one better at holding the proxy Rex than the man who does it himself. So while GuMiho didn't do the deadly damage, he still has all of his Reapers. Okay, -1. He still has that command center on the way. He still has the ability to scout with the barracks. So both players are going to be getting cyclones off the reactor. Command center floating over even before making an orbital. So they'll both have it similar time, and GuMiho a little behind. Tech Lab Starport. Is he gonna go Banshee again? Here comes the clone drop from ByuN. The stylistic differences are so clear. Where GuMiho really just tries to focus on getting the right unit composition and locking it down. ByuN does anything else. He will send out Cyclones when he has less. He will send out well, it's been mostly Cyclones, to be honest. There really haven't been many Marines. The last 2 games have featured a handful, but they die very quickly. The clone drop is coming in. And GuMiho is not in position to deal with it. Thankfully, the depots are here. And he staggers the Cyclones, but he's already taken some damage. Gonna micro. Ooh, takes out one. Trades another. Oh my god. ByuN. ByuN. Yep. That's ByuN. Oh no, and the natural. Well, this could backfire, or he could kill the Raven with no auto turret. The 1 HP clone drop. Oh my god. 9 kills, 10 kills. This is the most ByuN thing I have ever seen. And I've seen a lot of ByuN things. Are you kidding me here? What? What did he even lock? I think he attacked his own depot. You stop. It's time to stop. Feels like ByuN has decided, oh yeah, maybe I should win to move on in this tournament. It's critical damage. GuMiho is bleeding out right now. The Cyclone is still alive, by the way. Just insult to injury. Grievous injury. Stop. It's time to stop. The only thing GuMiho has is a third command center. Thing is, this is kind of an unforced issue. It's not like he committed 2 Cyclones and a medevac. Not particularly costly. Oh no. Stop. God. Stop! ByuN! He's just styling on him. I believe GuMiho right now is getting served, is what's happening. And not like in a fun, like, here's your meal, sir, way. But in a, why are you still in my tournament sort of way, which is not as nice. We're going to have Marine Tank on either side. ByuN has every advantage but the 3rd CC, and he already has more workers anyways. 1-1 is quicker, Stim is quicker. He's got his barracks online. GuMiho is working towards 3, where ByuN completes 5. So, it comes down to something resembling desperation here, as ByuN has been allowed to do exactly what ByuN wants to do, which is full production of Marine Tank. Uninterrupted now. Raven out in front. The Cyclone still sharking around. Tanks will siege. ByuN not looking. Loses one of his clones. Maybe some more if he can... doesn't quite get the Raven. It's dead, Jim. Finally. The offending medevac. It spotted... GuMiho didn't even see it. ByuN spotted the Liberator, panicked, and flew into the turret. So just like that, it dies. The Cyclone, who menaced the main base, doesn't even die to you. It dies to a missile turret. How anticlimactic. Ah... Double drop on the way. Spotted GuMiho. The 3cc has allowed him to keep up somewhat. I mean, ByuN has his 3cc. It's just that GuMiho had it significantly quicker. But now the production is fully online. ByuN has 65 SCVs. The gap is going to widen unless GuMiho is somehow able to either knock down the medevacs with all hands, or ByuN makes a mistake and attacks into a terrible angle. He's not going to be intimidated by a tank. Yeah, he's not. He actually split into Stim before seeing the rest of the army. Even though the tank hit first, but... Our Liberator's looking for an opportunity, but... The medevacs. He's in possession. Sensor tower. GuMiho try to drag back into it. Scans, double scans, counter scans. Combat shield now done. GuMiho gonna try to leverage his Ravens. 5 tanks here. Did he get anything? No, the medevacs... Wait, what? Did he get both medevacs? Oh my god, he did! No. Wait, yes. It doesn't count the Marines inside, I guess. But he got both medevacs. That's huge. That was the big... kind of question mark on whether that would be able to do the damage. Getting both those means GuMiho, it's still bad, but it's playable. Those 2 medevacs could have torn it wide open here, but instead, a scan. The army, it's just Marines, because of course it is. GuMiho has narrowed down where the army isn't. So, all that's left is figuring out where it is. He tries to anti-armor missile. The Raven dies before he can turn. And GuMiho chases him down. ByuN, gotta be careful. GuMiho's making all the right moves. The supply is way, way closer than it deserves to be. Losing those medevacs was a lot of momentum. As ByuN trying to force the issue. +2 infantry weapons is done, but GuMiho gonna play the strategical game. The longer the game goes, and the more of a set-piece sort of chess match it becomes, the better off GuMiho is. But the more we're able to just kind of, I don't want to say flail around the map, but I'm struggling to come up with other words. The more we're able to just run circles around with those Sim Marines. Oh, and speaking of, he finds an opportunity. The tank will siege. He's stepping up. The siege tank gets a huge volley, but the Marines have the upgrade advantage. And ByuN is tearing through the command center itself. And the 4th base is dead just like that. There goes a tank. More Marines come up, but he picks up and boosts away. And ByuN with a decisive victory. He just wants an opportunity to micro Marines, and he finds it. What is this tank doing here? That is the weirdest... Okay. This tank ain't like the other tanks. Okay, he grew up in a tough neighborhood. Cyclones everywhere. He hates cyclones. That's fair, though. ByuN, 4 medevacs. Loaded up. The upgrades are even here. He's gonna drop on this again. GuMiho tries to stim while he's dropping out of the medevacs. The siege tank will turn the tides here. ByuN is at severe risk of overextending. If he continues down this road, he very well could dig himself into a deficit. As GuMiho now has the supply. It's 9 tanks to 6 in favor of ByuN. He hasn't moved him out on the field. There is no interference matrix for the Raven. ByuN has not been able to capitalize on any of the damage he's done to lay down a killing blow. He still has a lot to fall back on, but it's 200 supply. The great equalizer. What is this? Did he drop Marines out in the whole position? That's a very odd. Is this a ritual of some sort? Again, the army. Well, this time it's not. Don't do. He has the high ground, ByuN. Oh my god. ByuN doesn't care. There's a tank on the backline. The concave is amazing. He's going for the command center. He's trying to get it, but on the low ground here. Again, ByuN. He picks up. He might be able to get out. He gets the 4th command center. And GuMiho suffered heavy losses. ByuN killing 37 to 27 Marines. The medevacs, the ones with units inside, did split off. And may redrop. ByuN finding another opportunity. More Ravens coming out. He drops right on top of this. A lot of SCVs vulnerable as well. ByuN refuses to bring everything to bear, instead choosing to split off small groups of units. He kills 10 SCVs. He can refill that army. He's up 30 supply here. Interference matrix for GuMiho, but... Oh, 2 Ravens. ByuN continues to attack down this left lane, and GuMiho continues to be caught off guard by it. Of course, he's been scrambling for quite a while. Here we go again. He just keeps doing it. He's gonna keep going. 4 siege tanks. That's a lot of tanks, but not enough to stop ByuN. Where was GuMiho? He was headed north. He loses the foot. Just, you know what? At this point, this is ByuN's lane. He's just gonna keep attacking. This is the 4th or 5th time he's done it, and the 4th or 5th time it's essentially worked. GuMiho can't keep it together. It's 13 tanks to 1, which does seem like a significant difference. It's just Marines for GuMiho. He's about to finish his 3-3. 1 saving grace here. Is there interference matrix for ByuN? There isn't. Importantly. That 1 tank is the only thing keeping ByuN at bay. GuMiho thinking about a massive counterattack. So many tanks. He just goes for this one. GuMiho. I can't. He has 4 Ravens. If he can scramble all the tanks or cut off the reinforcements. ByuN is sending out another group. No planetary here. A scan. He didn't see the army moving out. ByuN continues to outmaneuver GuMiho. GuMiho's caught on the other side of the map. I don't know if caught is the right word. There's a base right there. He's going for everything. His tournament on the line. He loads up the entirety of his medevacs. He's got the Ravens, scrambles the tanks. He's going to try to thrive in the chaos. And so far, ByuN is struggling to deal with it, scrambling to the defenses from the inside out, and doing a great job of it. ByuN will press forward. But GuMiho maintains his supply. There's nothing in the main. ByuN was maxed out. He wasn't producing units. So GuMiho, battered on each side. Oh no, it's an orbital. Oh, without a planetary here, it's going to be so hard to defend. Another anti-armor missile. There's no tanks with GuMiho's army. It's starting to melt. A massive gamble. And I think it was probably his best bet. But ByuN comes back with a vengeance. And he cleans up the army. He's cleaned up the 3rd. He's swept away the 4th. And the main base will be cleansed as well. ByuN is 1 step away from claiming his spot in the playoffs. GG! ByuN takes it 3-2 in one of the most epic Terran versus Terran series.